This is Channel Attitude. Your voice, your right, your freedom.
Jimmy! Ricky! You! Smack Attack!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to an all-new edition of the Smack Attack. I am your host, Jimmy T. That is my co-host, working quite hard, it looks like. I wonder why, but we'll get to him in a minute. That is R to the B to the V. Rick, why are you doing a bit of Stevie Richards fitness there? What's going on over here? What am I missing?
998, 999, 1,000.
Oh, it's all hot and sweaty.
You know, I wanted to start off this week's Smack Attack. This isn't a warning, but more of a PSA. I know we got a big shout out on the way for the one, the only Mr. Bulletproof Troop. But again, brother, hey, it was great to see you out there making the rounds, showing up on SmackDown. But brother, hey, I seen that look of lust in your eyes for that grand prize. I know she's looking all kinds of fine, and you might be Mr. MMA, Mr. NWA, crossover to combat sport athlete. And again, she is looking fine, but brother, I am here to let you know she is all mine. So you keep it professional, you keep it strictly business. What are you representing there? Brother, I love you, all the props in the world, but hey, just a little public service announcement from the R to the B to the B. Richard Bronson Vickrey.
Right there. Oh, shots fired. I mean, RBV's got a warning. Speaking of,
I got to get some electrolytes in me for that one, baby.
God damn. Well, I just want to say we are live on Media Group's YouTube channel and, of course, channelattitude.com after the fact. But speaking of Troop, here he is, dude. On SmackDown. I can't believe it. And look at the way he's eyeing your cha-cha, Rick.
Right? I'd say the lust in his eyes, brother. I could see it there.
But look, in all seriousness, though, man, I am proud of him. I'm happy that he's even here, man. We've all followed his path all the way to here. And like I was saying to him, everybody starts doing this in WWE once they make it, dude. And then they get into it like properly, you know what I mean? And I've just got a good feeling. I mean, look at the guy. He's a stud.
Hey, and absolutely, in all seriousness, Troop's been rolling with the HMG for a long time, representing, our brand out there on his shorts when he's in the fight. So as I mentioned, a crossover absolute stud in MMA and professional wrestling. He's doing a little bit of it all. Big time fights, big time appearances with the NWA, and now showing up here on the road to WrestleMania, representing the blue brand, WWE style. Awesome to see big thing. Hey, we were talking before we went on air though. It's not going to be long, right? It can't be too far into the future that he gets signed, gets a contract. But like we said, take one look at the dude. Absolute money. You get to know him. Just oozes, man. That charisma.
Machismo, man.
Yes, sir.
Nah, look, man. And like you said, he's been a long-time supporter of the HMG family and, of course, the channelattitude.com family. And, man, like I said, we've all literally watched him, start from the very beginning when he transitioned from MMA to pro wrestling all the way to now, man. And like I said it to him personally. I said, I'm proud of you, man. You know what I mean? I know I knew you were going to get to this point, and here you are. I just, hope Braun doesn't put like any stop to it, if you know what I'm talking about, Rick.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
You know
Right
what I mean? Because they're on the same brand. I forgot to ask him. I might ask him later on. I wonder if Strowman was there, and if so, how did he react seeing him?
Oh, but maybe shit's been getting real in the WWE.
It sure has.
Absolutely. But hey, Jimmy, it is good to be back. A bit of a hiatus last week for me from the Smack Attack, dealing with some major weather issues here in Southern Ohio. But we are dried up, just like myself. So good to be back with you, man. And I know we got some fun headlines that we're going to talk about. But this week's SmackDown itself, a lot to be desired, especially as we are under 2 weeks, a week away, just within that week
8
away.
days, 7 days actually now.
Yeah, a week away from right now, the showcase of the Immortals, Las Vegas, baby. So we're going to try to get it all in. We got some headlines. We're going to get some WrestleMania hype itself and talk about those big bullet points from this week's SmackDown.
Oh, well, absolutely we will. But before we do that, obviously we got a bit of news to talk about, and there's been a bit of shenanigans going on online. Rick, what's going on here, man?
I say, we'll just what a great transition. Sorry about this, baby. We have to throw you under the bus here on this one. The big news last week, a lot, thinking about things getting real. Speaking of things getting real inside of the WWE, a lot of hype. Fans eating it up, the interaction there between Tiffany Time and Charlotte in the in-ring, where the cross lines, whatever. Charlotte taking to social media throughout the week, talking about her personal life being exposed, how she was embarrassed in some ways. So here she goes to social media. What we got? After being blindsided by my personal trauma on live television, my character said something on air that was not true, and I'd like to take an opportunity to clear the air. I should have never called Chicago fans smart. I sincerely apologize. So a little tongue-in-cheek here from Charlotte, trying to be funny, trying to get herself back over after her herself was a little bit exposed for really not being able to handle her own business. She gets owned in the ring last week by Tiffy Time. Then she goes to social media, releases this here. So this Jeremy dude comes back with the circle of life for Charlotte. Go back to, I missed that top one there. That circle of life for Charlotte is get title shot, get injured, get a divorce, get face surgery. All right, now the second one. The reply where she gets, so Charlotte thinks that she is going to own this dude. She's going to fire back and just chop him down. Cute. Now would you like me to tell you what I think of your face? So you can tell which one of these things really hit home with her here. Jeremy, quick on the wit, fires right back. At least it's my original face, though. Boom!
Damn.
Oh,
damn, dude.
Oh,
damn.
Charlotte, you can drop that. Charlotte owned here. I think a few of the bigger talking points here. Number one is a lesson for anyone in professional wrestling. I think this goes especially for those at the top of the game. If you're working for WWE, if you're working for AEW, but even on down, if you're working at the local bingo hall, you are trying to project a persona, that image, that vibe, that energy, that you are some kind of legit star, that you are a professional athlete, you're above the minions. Stop selling for fans online.
Facts. But what's wrong? But they continue to do it, Rick. I mean, a lot of pro wrestlers continue to do this shit. And the thing is, Charlotte should know so much better, man. Like,
absolutely. Absolutely. You're getting somebody with the DNA, generational talent, who is at the top of the game, the finest in training, who you would believe has been surrounded by tremendous advice, growing opportunities, and you have somebody like her that doesn't grasp the concept of you are above the average mark. stop selling for them.
Facts. Come on, Charlotte. It's for crying out loud. And you know what else is sad, man? She's obviously self-conscious, I guess, about her face. And this is what I don't understand about women, particularly that just love the Botox and plastic surgery and all that shit. She didn't need to do that shit, dude. She looks so much better without all that crap. But for whatever reason, she did. And I want to ask you, though, Rick, before we move on. Now, I know you weren't here last week, but I'm sure you saw what happened last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a bit of a shoot? Is it a work shoot? Is it a shoot, or is it total work?
No, we're getting some, and I think that's the second point here, is we're getting some more from this story. And I guess somebody backstage had talked to somebody. I think maybe this had come out on the one report, but there was some heat or concern backstage of Charlotte taking liberties trying to rattle the young Tiffany Stratton, who is still so green in her journey into professional wrestling. And this isn't an uncommon case. You see this a lot of time with the vets. They said even in the statement that this is something that Cena regularly practices.
Yeah, Cena with Reigns, for example. Cena with there was another one. Geez, I forgot right now. It's not coming back to me. Oh, well, Cody to an extent.
Can you work on the fly? One of the first things I was taught in business was to be able to stay liquid, be able to adapt, be able to adjust, be able to move, and that is a key component of success in professional wrestling. What we learned here again from Charlotte Flair is maybe she's not as good as she thought she was. You know, that she wasn't able to go out there and immediately when Tiffany Stratton turned the tables on her and fired back with something personal that cut deep, that she wasn't able to call it on the fly and adjust like a pro and quote unquote let her character fire back with something inappropriate that wasn't good for business in any way. You know,
I agree. I agree 100%.
If she had her whereabouts about her and was going to fire back with the 0 for 3, you know, it could have been something along the lines of just no selling the divorces and focusing in on, those didn't work out because my focus, my desire, my love is in this ring, Tiffany, and I'm going to prove it to you and show the world exactly why I'm the queen and the best, no matter what sex, the best that's ever been. She lost her cool there.
She did, man. She absolutely did. And it's sad because, you know, did Tiffy really need that sort of treatment? You know what I mean? It's different when it's Cena and The Rock, for example. Remember that incident with the writing on his...
This is a bigger issue on this entire thing that we've been talking about here for weeks. This program has been a disaster out of the gates from the get-go.
Yep.
Because the talents, the agents involved, the writers, no one seems to understand what the hell these characters are and have had a legit direction for this program. Obviously, out of the box, when they wrote this thing, they thought Charlotte was going to be the babyface.
Fans dumb or what?
Fans exposed that shit real quick.
Straight away, dude.
So they have to pivot. Charlotte starts playing into her natural heat. She is a good, sorry about the bitch. She is good at it. That's where her bread and butter is, the character that she should be portraying. Problem is on that, they got completely lost. Tiffany Stratton as a character, they have no idea what it is. More importantly, she has zero idea. There was no redeeming qualities about either one of these women. I said we've been talking about it here regularly. I've been screaming it. They're giving us no reason to root for either of them.
Yeah, especially after SmackDown, dude. Who's the babyface? Who's the heel now, dude?
Even last night, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
I still, and I know we had a little interest because things got real, and as you know, smarts people inside the bubble, we love it when it's real. And yes, that's what professional wrestling is at its absolute best. But they did nothing to lean into that. And they are still lost and confused about who these characters in the direction of the story, where this thing should be going. They did nothing to lean into that last night, and further did nothing to really make us care about this match.
Can I ask? I know we're jumping the gun, but we might as well talk about it. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We might as well just.
We can pepper it in and out because I mean it's relevant to the show.
After last night on SmackDown, I'm starting to think, is WWE trying to really get Charlotte to be the face again, and now Tiffy being the heel? Because I feel like they're trying to do that again suddenly, dude, and it just doesn't seem right.
No, what would make you think that they're trying to get Charlotte to become the face outside of her many face changes? Charlotte Flair.
You threw me off. Oh, well, just the way things were done last night, you know what I mean? It just seemed like Tiffy came across as more of the heel. Like, for example, she was wearing black, Charlotte was wearing more white. You know, those little things as well. Charlotte redeeming herself, if you want to call it redeeming herself, in terms of getting her, you know, her revenge.
I think Charlotte getting her revenge.
Well, you know, getting her shit in, basically, like attacking Tiffy after what happened last week.
You have the earlier attack in the day where Charlotte gets banned from the building and then sneaks back in and Pearl Harbors are there. I mean, that's not in any way an act of a hero, of a baby.
No, you're right, but I don't think the fans really reacted to that, really, if you know what I mean. Like, it's like almost an afterthought.
Because, again, the fans have lost interest in this thing. And outside of the little cattiness, they have completely lost interest in this. That's the issue. But you are right. And I know it's, you know, the old thing in storytelling, the cowboys wear white, the train robbers wear black. It's very telling of, okay, this is not a person that I should be investing in. Yeah, this is the hero that's going to come save the day. I think we need to move past that because for right or wrong, they completely have.
No, they have. But like, right. I was talking to other people, for example.
Tiffy comes out with a big time resting bitch face. She's still doing the heel things in the match.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm confused.
Time, you know, just and again, Tiffany continues to not understand her character.
But is it her fault?
It's everyone involved's fault.
Right.
From creative to the agents to the talents. I don't understand how they can look at this and find any redeeming qualities from this program. It has been a disaster, a complete train wreck.
Well, yeah, it has been, but it's been an interesting train wreck nevertheless still, you know what I mean? But it's a train wreck. But I am kind of intrigued to see what was going to go down at Mania when they do wrestle. I think they announced for night 2, correct? Or was it night 1?
We'll talk about those when we get closer to as we're going to blend the WrestleMania hype in with our SmackDown review. We'll kind of blend that all together. Hey, but you know, as each and every week across the board, the Hami Media Group, if it be the locker rooms, if it be our review shows, our watch-alongs, After Dark, whatever the case might be, we're here to educate you. That is our number one, where the pros go to learn professional wrestling. It's been a long time running slogan of ours. But Jimmy, you know, when it comes to America, you guys, you might be fine down under in Australia.
Not really.
When it comes to the American education system, one Linda McMahon, you know this has been put in charge. Did you see this story, man? She's been referring to AI, you know, right?
Right, AI.
What's that stand for?
Artificial intelligence.
Yes, she's been referring to it as A1. Of course, the famous steak sauce.
Really? Has she really been doing that?
Yes.
I sort of read something briefly, but I didn't really pay attention to it. But is that what she really said? A1.
Yes. It's not like, again, we're talking about whose fault is this? Who the hell keeps letting her go out there and make this common mistake here?
Wow, look at that face, though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Dude, if you're going to eat that steak, it might need, I'm usually completely against it, but if you're going to eat that steak, you probably need some A1 on it.
Oh, you need gallons of that shit.
Yeah. Jimmy, where do you stand on steak sauces or any add-ons to a good cooked steak?
Actually, as a matter of fact, I love a good barbecue friggin' sauce, to be honest, on my steak, man.
Oh,
Yeah, I do, man. I actually do. I can't go past barbecue sauce, man. Not JR's barbecue sauce, but A1 is good, actually. I've had A1 before in the past. But with even I don't even mind
You're an A1
Heinz.
guy. Hey, and unrelated note here. I will be taking auditions for a new co-host for SmackDown. I don't know if I can work with someone that's an A1 guy.
Well, I'm not really an A1 guy. I'm more of a Heinz guy, to be honest, when it comes to my barbecue sauce.
No.
And you probably hate that too. But
If
like,
you're
nothing
talking,
beats Heinz ketchup.
about a good, finely cooked steak, first and foremost, it is an absolute slap in the face to whoever prepared that to drench it with an A1, a barbecue, or any kind of condiment. You enjoy those natural flavors, baby.
What, you don't
Propane.
like
Taste
sauce on
the heat. Taste the meat, not the heat. That's
Damn.
what it's about.
Damn, there you go. RBV eats.
Yeah. How do you like
Right
your
there.
steak? How do you like your steak?
You're going to shit on me now for 100% for what I'm going to say. 100%. Talk about a new co-host. Now he's really going to fire me. I like my shit well done, dude. I'm not going to lie. I don't like the fucking medium rare and fucking, I don't know, dude. I'm more of and I get it. You get your nutrients and all that, like when it's medium rare or even more rarer than that. But I prefer my shit sort of well done.
I like mine like my women. Nice and
Raw?
seasoned and bloody.
Yo. No.
Dude, I had a steak this past Monday. We went out a little family thing.
So did I, actually.
Man, it was so good. I mean, it literally, I didn't even need the knife. I could cut it with the fork.
That tender? Damn,
Yeah.
that's good steak right there, dude.
I got it medium. Oh, it was so good.
Was it bloody as hell?
You know it, baby.
Jesus Christ. What's the speaking of cold-blooded in the chat saying, give me that Worcestershire sauce, pal.
Nah, man,
I don't mind Worcestershire, but you know.
You put any sauces on a steak, man, absolutely criminal. Criminal.
Really? Not even gravy?
Gravy?
I don't put gravy on mine.
Gravy.
I'm just saying.
I will put gravy on nearly anything. I just posted, an RBV Eats this week where I just woke up for breakfast and was dipping chicken skins in gravy.
Chicken skins in gravy.
I've done shots of gravy, just out of shot glasses, but I'm not putting it on my steak, brother.
Damn, dude. Come on, bro. Shots of freaking, like, for real? Of gravy?
Gravy, baby, man. Gravy shots all day.
Damn,
Absolutely.
dude. What
Hey,
the hell, man?
speaking of a good moment for a little plug coming up this weekend, figure out the day. Probably hit you next Friday afternoon, sometime after the guys get done with the Friday locker room. We're going to do a little WrestleMania RBV Eats Out. We're going to give you the top 10 dishes that you should have at your WrestleMania party. So keep your eyes and ears out for that here on the YouTube page. Absolutely. I might have asked you to be on the show, but I don't know if you're going to show up with a bucket of A1 sauce and dump it all over the show and ruin everything.
We do need to do a snack attack in the future presented by RBV Eats.
There we go, brother.
Come on. I mean, it writes itself.
Jimmy, let me ask you, man. You've got the great podcasting career, the DJ stuff going on. Now,
come on.
You're providing for your family, man. What would you do if the wifey came to you and said she was going to open an OnlyFans?
You know what's funny? We've spoken about this before, actually, right? Now, and I know where you're getting at right now, but personally, me, if it was just her, just say, for example, no, I'm not cool with it. Straight up. I don't care how much money.
She is adamant that this is happening. What kind of content would you allow?
It's OnlyFans, dude. What content makes you money, dude?
Isn't that the best when you hear these girls like bitching like,
come on.
I can't believe that people are in my DMs on my OnlyFans asking me to expose more.
Well, yeah.
Come on. Are you that
expose yourself, motherfuckers?
You know, like you really think that people just are going to sign up for your OnlyFans, fork over anywhere from $5, $20, $50 to maybe hear you read poetry in your bikini? No, I'm
not paying shit.
They just don't want the skin, man. They want you spread wide open, exposing it all.
Hey, straight up, man. If it's the person that you're alluding to,
Well, let me ask
was
this.
doing this.
You have the responsibility of covering all of our AEW, all Elite Wrestling content. So
Unfortunately,
you get to see a lot of the one, the only Ricochet.
who finger banging you talking about?
Old thumbs up, baby. Old forward
The
thumbs up.
thumbs up. Yeah.
He's giving thumbs up here. So yeah,
Oh, boy.
his new bride. They just got married, correct?
Yes, they did. I believe it a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. So Samantha Irvin, formerly with WWE, now is known as Samantha the Bomb, has announced that she is going to be launching her own OnlyFans. This thing looks like it might just be a platform for her to get kind of her music out there.
She has alluded to that
while collecting that spank bank from the AEW faithful. Hey, let's give the chat over here.
All right, keep
a fair glimpse, so they can weigh in to let us know if they would invest in this OnlyFans.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, put a little cream in it.
Is that it? Really?
That's it. That's the teaser, baby. Jimmy
I saw an extended one.
Is that why you got the screen up? Are your pants still on?
My pants are on, as a matter of fact. And where are we?
You're taking a long time to get these cameras back on, bro.
Yeah, why the fuck are we not here? What's happening?
Yeah. Are you already heading over to that OnlyFans? Take the layout down.
But it is down. I don't know why we've disappeared, dude.
Pants.
Look, we've disappeared. Give me a second.
Jimmy's trying
there
to
we are.
Back in.
Jeez, that was weird, dude. That's never done that before. It was that hot that we got kicked out, but you could still hear us.
Yeah. Hot girl, Jimmy T, and he's swearing it's never happened. That's never happened before.
Not like that, dude. That was kind of strange. But you know what? I seen an extended video of that video, as a matter of fact.
All right, you have then. All right, so
I
just grabbed a sample. We didn't want to rock the whole thing. She's got her shorty video over on her Twitter that everyone can check out. So yeah, I'm guessing this is just going to be a way for her to pump, her music that she's got. Well, that was one of the big things. She wanted more than just announcing, correct? But she didn't want to wrestle. She wanted to be like a manager or a general manager of one of the shows, and they pretty much were just like, "No way, we
no chance
for you, no chance." So she took. Hey, I'm glad she's investing in herself. That takes a lot to go out there on your own. She could have stuck with the company, just kept collecting that check, but she is investing in herself.
I mean, she better hope that Ricochet gets some fat contracts, dude, because her music career ain't going anywhere. I don't care what she thinks. People are not interested in her for a friggin' music career. Let's be real, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say Cold Blood's got my attention over here. So
yeah,
I don't want the image of Ricochet being the cameraman and stroking it. No,
bro, come on.
A camera in one hand and thumbs up the other.
He won't be stroking it. He'd be thumbing it, dude. Don't worry about that. God.
Hey, Ricochet's time, his interest is probably about run out with TK over there. So the family now is going to need some extra income to fall back on.
I'm telling you, dude, she better start parading her booty around, because that's the only way they're going to make millions of dollars, dude. For real. She needs to be
millions on that.
Millions, dude. If they start getting, jiggy with it, are you telling me they're not going to make as much as, say, Mandy Rose is making right now?
Yeah, but Mandy understands this. We've seen just some of the teaser content.
Oh boy. Now that's hot.
All right, be honest with me here, chat. You can weigh on this as well. I have not, but I will admit that I have been
Sure.
very tempted and close to signing up for a few OnlyFans just to see what the content was.
Which ones in particular, Rick?
And the one, Mandy Sachs,
Oh, with a name like that, dude.
right? She knows how to sell it, baby.
I mean, she can. Yeah, anyway, I'm not even going to go there, but she's stunning, dude. Like, she's on a whole different level. I mean, Samantha Irvin is hot, don't get me wrong. But do people overhype her a little bit, you think?
Yeah, I think that's really a case inside of professional wrestling itself. You see all of these, the spank bank smart fans that go, oh my God, she's so like. Do you go out in public? A lot of these women, they go to a freaking gym. All you'd have to do is get on a workout plan. Don't skip leg day so you can get that booty popping. Get a little tone, cut a little tone in your arms. I mean, a lot of these women that we see in professional wrestling today, they're average Janes out there on the street that look just that good, just maybe not as dedicated to the fitness. But I think because they're on television, a lot of people just kind of put them on that pedestal.
Yeah, it's true. You just hit the nail on the head. I agree with you 100%. Well, the chat is saying, cold-blooded, man. You really are cold-blooded tonight. I'll take back that you were warm for a minute. But he says she's going to go full American Pie at band camp with the flute. But the thing is, Cold, what do you want her to do with that flute? That's what I want to know.
Blow it.
Oh, dude. If I knew you were going to say that and I'll set you up for it,
play me some hot cross buns.
Blow that fucking flute indeed. Oh boy. Russ says also she won't even be in the conversation in a few years. You're probably right. Let's be real. He's probably actually right.
I know we didn't have it on the run here. We don't have anything prompt for it, but this is a topic we were talking about over on Facebook in the Hameen Media Discussion group. And we're talking about someone that's become irrelevant that won't be talking about in a few years. This is really someone we haven't talked about in the last few years, but is making some news as she's making some rounds. But it's Carmella.
Oh, I saw that video.
Yeah, she was on a recent talk show with, let me get to here, but Tamira Hall or something like that.
Yeah.
And we saw Carmella anyway. I think we talked about the story. I know it's been covered here a couple times on HMG on a couple on the shows, but she seemed completely surprised when WWE alerted her that they would not be renewing her contract.
Well, first of all, she shouldn't have been surprised. That's one. Two, didn't she hurt herself having the kid? If I'm correct.
Yeah, she had some sort of injury as well, something going on. But now I'm trying to get. Let me find it here, like her real name or something. But Carmella is out there. Anyone that will listen, she is crying, complete victim, that she was completely blindsided by this, that, thought that she would be going back to work and potentially slid into some major program. She's presenting herself as like a major star that was carrying the women's division.
Wow.
Here we go. So it was on the Tamron Hall show. I've actually seen this on television. I have no idea who she is. And this is Lee is her real name. Lee Van Dale. Actually, her father was a professional wrestler.
Second generation. Talent. Yeah, he was enhancement talent, like you said. Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, she got a little bit of a gene. So obviously a beautiful woman. She actually went to Tough Enough, left Tough Enough, and became a cheerleader with the Los Angeles Lakers, and then came back to professional wrestling. And I think it's absolutely amazing that she was able to. The Carmella she was with WWE for over a decade.
Yeah, easily, no doubt, man.
And a decent little run, when during a brand split, when they had to turn to her to help carry the SmackDown Women's Division, we had the title after winning Money in the Bank. Had a great little run, was able to hold on to her job that long. That side of itself is an amazing accomplishment for anybody, really. For anybody.
Anybody. To get 10 years in WWE, you've done something right. I mean, come on. I mean, at the end of the day, she, especially after hurting herself, because she pointed out, I saw somewhere other people were pointing out Alexa Bliss, how apparently them two had their kids at the same time, but one didn't get hurt having the kid, the other one did.
How do you get
So
hurt having a kid? I mean,
I have no idea. They didn't really specify it, but apparently I don't know, man. Maybe they needed to do a cesarean for you know what I mean? Maybe the
well,
kid's head was too
I
big.
know at one point she was trying to play the mother card, try to get that sympathy or get some traction behind her, get some support going. But it's like how many other women inside WWE have we seen take hiatus, go on maternity
It's
leave,
happening.
come back and everything's fine.
Well, yeah, most of them.
Here is a simple case of the talent, the roster, and the product has passed you by.
They've
That
got
is
a dime a dozen of women now that's way better than her, bro.
well, I'm not going to say better, but watching last night, she could see her replacement that tagged with Natty. That's with the Alpha Academy.
We'll get to that. That was she
What the hell's her
impressed
name?
me actually. Oh my god, why have I gone blank? I'll get back to you in a minute. What's it called? Otis's friggin' woman. I don't know why I've gone blank. This happens to me.
She has been passed over. She is old news. She had a great run. Instead of crying victim, find a positive solution or direction that you can fit back in to the company where you're out promoting. I was a professional wrestler. I am a professional athlete. Now it's time to adjust to motherhood. I want to be able to help women with other professional careers, how you can just become a spokesperson for that. Put out maybe some different, she is fashionable. So put out maybe a line for moms or something, or kind of match it with the kids. Do something positive. So when the company looks over and says, hey, this is somebody we might want as an ambassador to do business with again, not going out there and trying to blast them on every platform that you possibly can.
Yeah, I know. And I was going to say, you were talking about Maxine Dupree. That's who we're talking about, by the way.
Maxine.
Sorry for going blank. This seems to happen all the time. But with what you just said, all she's doing, first of all, is stuffing up her husband, dude. If she wants her husband to still be bringing home some decent dollars, shut the fuck up, Mela.
Well, yeah, I wonder what their conversations are like at home. We've been learning enough from those inside the business, from Strangler Steve, from Ben Hameen, from the Vet, all the other past that we've worked with, Silvio Beast, Timmy Baltimore, so many people that have been there, that have seen what the truth is about this business. And we know absolutely if the wife's got heat, it's getting heat and is irritating the office, they're going to take that out on Corey.
100%.
A lot of fans have already been talking about that. When Corey said something about McAfee, or he's been quote unquote downgraded to NXT, removed from some of his responsibilities. A lot of that isn't maybe what Corey said. He might have seen it coming, trying to put some of the focus on himself.
Maybe.
I believe, man, this could be coming from his wife.
I agree 100%. It just because think about it, man. Corey seemed to get even he got an upgrade. He became the actual play-by-play guy at one stage for SmackDown, and he didn't actually do a bad job, Rick. Let's be real. When it was him and Bad News Barrett, they were pretty decent, man. I felt like he did a good job holding, he was holding his own. And then the demotion slowly was happening. And then here we are into NXT. He had a hissy fit. I don't blame him. I get it. But you know what, man? He's getting that heat thanks to Mela.
Well, we don't know the full details of it, and I've always enjoyed Corey Graves' work. I know how devastating it was for him when he lost his career, and he had to make that pivot. And that's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow, to lose that dream of performing in the ring. But he went all in on it. He made that shift, that change in direction, and he became a tremendous, absolutely awesome at his job at the desk.
I agree. A lot of people give him hate, man. I don't even understand why. I actually do think he's actually pretty good, man.
A lot of people that crap on commentary are idiots that have no idea what commentary is supposed to be about.
That's true, man. You're spot on. And you know what's sad?
It's across the board. Professional wrestling, sports, whatever the case might be. Understand if those individuals are there to multitask, they got multiple hats to wear, different things that they're trying to put over. It's a hectic, intense position to be. And really, one of the more important, you're a facilitator, a storyteller for that entire program. There's a lot that goes into that.
Oh, for sure. And you've got experience doing that yourself, man. So I can only imagine, especially if you're getting produced like the whole time, that would annoy me. But I get it. Like it needs to be done. But you know what, man? I noticed because I covered Ray for the Next Level Wrestling review, you know, with the vet this week. Me and the vet practically done every show all week. And while watching NXT, man, I've noticed he's a lot more quiet, dude. Like he's not saying much. It's all Booker and the play-by-play guy, Joseph, whatever his last name is.
It is Vic.
Oh yeah, Vic Joseph, right?
Yeah, but you know it is a little difficult when you have that 3-person booth, and I've been blessed. I've had access. And this is a secret document, one of those you'd have to, Raiders of the Lost Ark, you'd have to go on this grand venture, get rolled over by a big old boulder, some ghost eat some Nazis, things like that. But I've had access to the Holy Grail, the Bible of commentary written by Timmy Baltimore. Who is absolutely hands down, one of the true best that's ever done it, that understands it like nobody else. And he took the time to actually write down what he has learned, his tricks of the trade, those types of things. And, Timmy, because of his handicap, he was Dusty Rhodes' right-hand man down there. He was
I knew that. And Cody's best friend.
Working alongside like JR, and that a lot of people that made it to television, Timmy coached. They wouldn't give him that spot because of the handicap and how great he is. But inside it, and he'll tell you this, it's difficult and tricky to run that 3-man because of a classic booth in any sport is going to have your play-by-play, your commentators. So that third has to find a unique groove where they can chime in, what they can add to it. So you might not have a lot of talking time, but you better be on point with everything that you say.
Yeah, but you know what? I've seen him in a 3-way before, and not that sort of 3-way before anyone thinks anything weird.
It's a delicious 3-way, a bed of soft noodles covered in hashtag God's chili, hashtag Cincy style. Ooh, man, that chili there, that cinnamon in there, cinnamon and chocolate in there, and then a big old mountain of finely shredded Wisconsin cheddar. Now that's a 3-way, baby. That is a
3-way, but I have seen him in 3-man booths, and he's not that quiet. I just felt like he was way more quiet than usual. Seems like something is bugging him, and you know what? I don't blame him because he really has been demoted to the point where even on NXT, he's not even the main freaking color guy, dude.
Well, that's fine. These are tests to see where you're at and what's going on, and you got to step up to that.
That's true.
If you still care.
Good luck to him, man. Hopefully he sticks it out and just takes it like a man, you know what I mean? Literally, because they're just testing him right now. That's what's going on, to see if he can push past this and see how upset he gets by being in this position. He's learned now to shut up. Just stay that way, Corey. Don't even talk about your misses either.
Hey, I learned this the first time I walked through the doors at OVW. It's been passed down from generation to generation. Hameen told me right as I was walking through the doors of OVW, the number one rule, never miss an opportunity to shut the fuck up.
Bang. I knew you were going to say that, so I was zipping my mouth.
Yeah.
But it's true. 100%. And, I get why he would open his mouth, but in this case, he needs to just keep quiet and just take it, man. But also, though, he's got to control his wife, though, man, for real, because...
Hey, I'm curious. I wonder how those conversations go at home. Is he supportive in what she's doing? Or are there some, hey, you got to chill a little bit here. You're getting me heat at work. Be interesting. Being interesting to be a fly on that wall.
Definitely. Don't be surprised if them two split up, dude. I don't know. I got a feeling I don't know. Even though they just had a kid, I'm not saying they're going to split up right now, but she seems like, that real independent woman type of shit. I don't want to shit on it. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I better be careful saying it like that too. But you know what I mean? She seems to have a mind of her own. I don't know. I just hope she thinks before she talks. That's all.
Well, and I know that we can shit on a lot of things here. Why don't we shift the conversation to 7 days away from WrestleMania and our talking points from this week's SmackDown. Oh, there you go. We'll just go ahead and jump in. You're going to throw it up there. As we are approaching WrestleMania week, so many big events. Go pull that down for a minute here. Let's hold off on the Hall of Fame. But so many big events happening. Jimmy, kind of spoiler there with the Hall of Fame, but we've got there's meet and greets, there's luncheons, there's the WWE World.
There's nightclubs too.
Nightclubs, after parties. There's the roast. I mean, yes. we are in one of the nightlife party meccas of the world. Vegas, baby. That's where they're heading. Destination Vegas, WrestleMania 41. Jimmy, I guess one of the big headlines, we're going to kind of run through a couple of these headlines, but the big one still remaining to be an issue, disappointing ticket sales.
Oh, boy. Dude, I mean, what is going on? And they're not doing anything to rectify it either, dude. I don't understand.
Well, I want to deep dive into this thing because, I mean, right now, what they're like just barely over like 40,000 for each night.
Really?
Something like that. I tell you where I heard this. Hey, this was an awesome week for the Strangler Steve fans. You got him on Monday as he filled in for me at the locker room. He was on the Wednesday locker room. He was on the Friday locker room. And he actually provided some great insights, some things that I didn't think about when we look at WWE's and TKO's endeavors, whatever the hell they are now, their struggles to draw to Vegas. And, one of the big ones that I had talked about here on the show was with global growth, and they're taking these big events around the world, it makes it less important for international travelers to come to the States for a WrestleMania when they know they're going to get a similar experience brought to them. It's easy to justify saving on that money, but Strangler brought up an amazing point here. Let's see if you want to elaborate on this. When you look at the other major markets that WrestleMania typically runs in, next year they're returning to New Orleans. They've done a couple in the last few years in the Northeast, up in New York, Toronto, Chicago. Those types of places, they have built in wrestling fan bases. So even inside of itself, you've got a few thousand wrestling fans just to get yourself going. They're living in there, and then you kind of can spread to those different surrounding metro areas. Las Vegas itself, it is a tourist destination. There are no really surrounding major metro areas. So you have got to, not really, it's desert. It's out in the middle of the desert.
That's true. That's true.
So you have got to draw everybody in. You don't have your base of fans that are going to eat up those tickets to get you going and then start drawing from the other states, from North America, from around the globe. You're starting from scratch, essentially, when you're out there in Vegas.
You know what, Rick? Have they kind of always struggled in some ways to get a decent house in Vegas? And I'm not talking about at the MGM Grand or anything like that, but I feel like that would be, and the Vegas market haven't really been that great to them. I mean, wasn't it Money in the Bank they were going to do in Vegas a few years ago, where they had to move to the arena instead?
Well, that was just because of poor sales, because people were not, and especially for something that's not WrestleMania, that isn't a big travel event, that's just run of the mill. You take to a city, you don't have those base of fans there,
right? And
you're relying on people to want to travel there. And his TN couponer is saying he's got a friend that paid $5,500 for floor seats for both nights. Strangler was talking about this on the Friday locker room. I think he's been to 18 WrestleManias. His wife,
I think he's going to this one too, isn't he?
Nope,
he's not.
And he made this point, and it had to do with the dollar amount. So Strangler's been to 18. His wife's somewhere in the 20s. I mean, this is a regular thing that they enjoy as a family to go and do. When you go to Vegas, obviously you're looking at double, tripling prices. Strangler was saying that an average Mania with the travel, with the lodging, food, the total expenses, they usually plan on about $5,000. Now to go
And
to
that's for the whole trip.
everything. Now
Right.
for this Vegas one, he was talking 10,000 or more. They
Fuck,
they
man.
just couldn't justify it.
No way, man. And this is, I don't understand. WWE didn't learn their lesson like recently. When I say recently, I'm talking about recent years with what happened with Money in the Bank, for example. And here we are again, same kind of dealio. And you know, they seem to be happier like charging top dollar and having less fans than actually like, you know, cheaping it up a little bit and actually filling up the place. Do you think they're actually expecting a lot of walk-ins to happen? And if so,
No, because where are you going to get the walk-ins?
well, yeah, it's true. It's Vegas. They're all tourists, right? Like,
Right. So what they're going to end up having to do, which they're probably going into paper mode this week, is they're going to have to go to those casinos and start comping the shit out of these tickets.
for sure, dude. That's gonna piss off everybody else that freaking paid top dollar to be there.
Once you start hearing about those reports and all of that, WWE's going to have to do a lot to keep that under wraps. It's going to be interesting. You're right, though, to keep our eyes on the sheets and the news reports coming out to see that reaction of people. As Keithwater saying, 5,500 for 4 seats for both nights. I'd be a little pissed if a guy sitting, you know, a couple rows behind me, or you know, a couple thousand people are getting in just because.
Dude.
You know, it was included with their breakfast buffet because they're high rollers, you know, down the street. But that's, if they're going to want to pack this place for that visual, they're absolutely going to have to start comping these casinos.
They could even do some sort of deals with some of the casinos where if you get a hotel, for example, for 2 nights,
that's what they're going to have to do. I mean, it's just going to be included. They had to do it at WrestleMania 9 as well. They had trouble out there.
What? Even for WrestleMania 9 back in '93, I think it was, wasn't it? WrestleMania 9.
They had a terrible time with the
really. Well, see, there we go again. There's more proof, and I remember that Mania like it was yesterday. You know, with all the Roman garb and all that. But you know, there's more proof. They've always struggled in Vegas, yet they tend to always keep trying. And I get it. I guess they're stubborn. But
well, you've got, you know, the Super Bowl going there had tremendous success because that is a big time destination. They are you know, they rule the roost for sports in North America.
Yeah, but see, I think everything else, like fighting, it's more of a fighting, like for boxing, MMA. Yeah, I would say that, like in terms of the combat sports.
UFC's had trouble drawing.
Really? In Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting, man. That's actually quite interesting. Well, they're going to have to comp shit out, and it's going to get him a lot of heat, dude. Like, I'm telling you now, because I know if I was going and I paid top dollar, and then I'm seeing all these, you know, people turning up, thanks to like freebies, I'll be pissed, dude.
Crossover in the chat talking about he's been to 8 WrestleManias. If you don't mind sharing with us, what do you usually budget, or you know, what's been the average your cost, everything included, to go to a WrestleMania? I'm just kind of curious as we look at the pricing here for Vegas. Now here's another thing though, and I'm not doubting this. As we sit down, not this week but next week, and we're looking back at WrestleMania, we're going to be getting fed a lot from WWE about how this was a record setting because financials. Because you look at everything's doubled, tripled. Just the ticket prices themselves are going to produce the largest gate in the history of the company. Then so you're saying about $3,000.
Damn. That's just for yourself, by the way, Bruce?
No, I could see that because there's different attractions. He's got travel, he's got room, he's got food, he's got his tickets. Probably want to get some merch, some memorabilia.
Oh, for sure.
That's cheap for a nice little vacation getaway if you're going for 5 days, 3, you know, whatever the case might be. That's with good seats. Yeah. Now you're talking at $3,000. That's probably getting you like nosebleeds. That's barely getting you in the door before you even do anything else.
Can you imagine paying $3,000 for nosebleeds in a stadium, no less, which is even worse?
Right. Yeah, some people they love to be there. Again, we are a society that loves a spectacle. They want to be there. They want to be a part of it. But Jimmy, I mean, we've got the ticket prices just to get in. They're ridiculous. We kind of ran down a list. You've got after parties, you got luncheons, you got dinners, you got the roast, you got the Hall of Fame, all these other. You got the WWE World with all those attractions going on. Hell, the Hall of Fame meet and greet with Triple H, Lex Luger, Michelle McCool starts out at $8,500. You can
What a
upgrade
joke.
to a grand. There's a luncheon with John Cena that's $25,000.
See what I mean, dude? Like, really, you're gonna bankrupt
Hey,
the fans the way they're going.
If you've got it and that's where you want to spend your money, God bless you.
How many millionaire
the
pro
majority-
wrestling fans
the
do we have
majority
out
of us
there?
can't make sense of that.
Right, but how many millionaire pro wrestling fans are really out there, you think?
Well, I don't know. They can afford that kind of money. You're going to end up. That's all going to be corporate. That's going to be the Saudi overlords.
It's all corporate. That's what's going to happen, Rick. That's what's sad about it. Like all the big sporting events, dude, all over the world. Eventually, like your normal fan is not going to be able to get in to any of these joints because it's going to become a total corporate event. And if that happens, and this is the way Mania is going, it looks like, if it does go that way, people like you and I or anyone listening right now wouldn't even be able to go to Mania anymore.
Yeah, I that's fair. I mean, I think it's still it's really the same way with the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's the
same
here too.
Aren't really going to the Super Bowl. I mean, unless it's your team and you're really going to drop that investment. But
dude, I'll give you a quick example. I went here. Our equivalent of the Super Bowl, right? For example, is Australian Football League, right? Which is called the Grand Final, right? And it's the biggest day in Australian sports. I've been to one, and believe me, the fact that I was a member of my club that I follow, right? For example, I had to go into an actual like a, what do you call it? Like a raffle, dude. I had to get picked. Like I had to get into a draw. And if I got picked, I can go. And thank God, I don't know how it happened, but I got picked. So I ended up going. That's the only way now you can get tickets to that even, let alone the NFL and the Super Bowl.
WrestleMania got good seats for 2 nights at WrestleMania 39 for $400. Yeah, you're also going to have that in Vegas. If you happen to be out there, you're going to be able to pick up, an awesome seat for a couple $100. Hameen went to, what was Rock Hogan? Was that 19?
Yeah, in Canada, Toronto. I remember I heard him say that.
It wasn't WrestleMania 19. Which one was it? But anyway, it was in
18
Toronto.
Or 17 or 18.
No, those were all Rock Austin's, 17, 19, something like that.
2002. Rock Austin was 2003. Right. That was 19. 18. It was WrestleMania 18. So X8. 100%.
18. All right.
100%
so like
it was 18.
Hameen got a ticket there for like $100.
Wow. He Canadian dollars though.
All right, whatever the case might be.
Hey, I'm just saying the American dollar is a lot better than the Canadian dollar, so it makes sense.
So yeah, I mean, you're gonna have that. So a lot of events, a lot of dollars. I know as we're recording here, it was Wheels Up for old Wheels, Mr. Woodford, Scotty Woodford. He's on his way there right now. He's got Mania tickets. I'm sure he's got a bunch of the special attractions. He's going to be going to the roast. So he's got a lot going on.
Jeez, how much money is he putting down?
Hey, man. Big pimping, man. Wheeling and dealing.
He does work for a bank just quietly.
Yeah, absolutely. But, hey, one of those big events, Jimmy, you did flash it. You can go ahead and throw it up there now, is the Hall of Fame, baby. Let's take a look. Let's talk about some of these. These are the class that's going to be represented. Of course, you got the natural disasters. You got Michelle McCool, Lex Luger. They have the WWE Immortal Moment, and that's going to be the WrestleMania 13. Many would argue, I think many would agree, the greatest match in WrestleMania history. Stone Cold, Bret Hart. You also had Ken Shamrock involved there. You got the infamous double turn. But I think, hey, you watch all this programming. It's hard to believe any of these other people are going because they only seem to focus on right there in the middle, Triple H.
I am the game.
God, they play that damn video package nonstop. I also do want to throw out the legacy recipients this year. This is a pretty cool little class. You got Ivan Koloff, Dory Funk Sr., and Kamala. Are going to be.
Aren't you offended, Rick, about that?
What do you mean here?
the legacy wing. You're gonna have some of the greats in pro wrestling in the legacy wing. Really?
Well, yeah, I mean that's what it's about. And it's maybe some people that are a little unfamiliar. I do agree. I would love to see them just acknowledged as part of the formal class. Obviously,
I
they're
mean,
going in post death here, but yeah, let's give them the same acknowledgement as everybody else.
absolutely. I mean, look at this class right now, right? The main class of 2025. You can easily take out Michelle McCool. She doesn't deserve. Come on, let's be real. If she wasn't Undertaker's damn wife, she wouldn't be in it. I don't care what anyone says. She don't need to be there, first of all. So I'd replace her with, say, Dory Funk Jr., right? Which would be better.
But you're looking at a draw here, and there's a business aspect to it. But when we do look at this class, it is a little underwhelming.
Even you can make the argument with Typhoon and Earthquake, man.
Together, I think it's recognizable. They were an
I
awesome,
agree.
no,
I agree.
no pun intended here. Just an awesome force together. But individually, these guys did so much for professional wrestling.
They did. I mean,
Contributed across the
Shockmaster
board.
alone should get in the Hall of Fame.
They each worked through the territories. They worked for all of the bigs. They worked numerous gimmicks. They were well liked amongst their peers. They contributed and it regularly helped grow the business of professional wrestling. Absolutely, not just, I hate that term, deserve, have earned to be here.
Earned, right? I agree.
Michelle McCool, you said that's a highly questionable choice. It's a big favor to the dead man. Absolutely. Lex Luger for our generation.
Lex Luger's earned it, personally. I truly believe that, man.
A big time name. Post wrestling career though, some questionable antics that had probably prolonged him getting this honor, getting the nod into the Hall of Fame. And this immortal moment, that's a little weird to me. But as I look at this graphic and I say this is an underwhelming class for the Hall of Fame, to be able to throw Austin and Hart in there seems like a major attention grabber for me.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like it was even a last second thing, personally.
That was kind of a rumor, but we did hear some rumblings from even going back a few years that they were considering.
And I'm cool with that.
Matches and moments into the Hall of Fame. I think that is a cool.
That is a cool idea. I'm actually cool with that, and I'm down with that. The only problem is, how is this gonna work? Are they gonna try to pretty much put in every main event in the future, or are we gonna get a little small sort of class of literally the best matches in Mania history, or is it gonna be like the best match of every Mania? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because really, in my opinion. Very few matches deserve to be in that category.
Well, you see, again, you're assuming match because we got a match here. But if you look at it, it says the WWE Immortal Moment.
Okay, it'll be the double turn then, obviously, right?
Well, the entire thing here, you had the birth of really Stone Cold, the anti-hero.
Right. And him turning babyface.
Bret Hart with the heel turn. To me, with the Hart Foundation.
This is the blood moment.
Was what Bret was doing there, where it was, he was a villain. He was hated in America, but in Canada and the rest of the world, he was the hero. To me, that was the most brilliant storyline that we've ever seen.
Great times, too. I love that time, dude.
You had the crossover, the most dangerous man alive, Ken Shamrock there.
Mm-hmm.
You had that appeal. You introduce him in. A lot of people, that was one of those. A lot of people would argue maybe one of the bursts, the launching pad for the Attitude Era. I would say probably the next year is where we go full swing with Mike Tyson's involvement. That would have been but this lays the groundwork for all that. But
this definitely lays the groundwork. It definitely lays the groundwork, dude. 100%.
I wonder what other moments that maybe they had considered. To me, the most defining moment for WrestleMania, for modern professional wrestling,
Hogan Rock.
No, is Hogan versus Andre, the Slam at WrestleMania. Oh
yeah, they'll be in there. Don't worry.
It catapults WrestleMania to
You're right.
Spectacles. It takes professional wrestling to new heights. There is no WrestleMania, what it is today, professional wrestling, what it is today, without Hulk and Andre. I wonder if they had that
I
discussion,
agree.
but pulled back because of all this Hogan heat.
Yeah, I would say the latter, actually. 100%. I think they're gonna wait a little bit because I could have even seen The Rock and Hogan, be the first match they put in the Hall of Fame. For example, you can make that argument.
Moments. We're talking about moments, and that's what makes
Moments, right? Not the match, the
not the
moment.
match.
Like the stare down between Hogan and Rock is the moment for me, for example. Or like you said, the body slam. And for the Bret Hart Stone Cold thing, it's definitely Austin with all the color. You know what I mean? Before he passes out, that's the moment, is it not?
Yeah, I think that's the visual that you remember, and again, we don't need to get stuck on matches and WrestleMania. This is just WWE immortal moments, and there are quite a few out there
Right.
that could qualify for this list to get those nominations,
The
inductions
TLC
later on.
matches, even I can see
TLC.
maybe
Now,
right.
I think, but to further the point that we need a physical Hall of Fame is these immortal moments. These would be the cool visuals, the interactive displays, those types of things that would be major selling points for an
Oh, for
actual
sure.
place for fans to go to.
Oh no, definitely. Especially if they have a little description of that moment while the video is playing. You know what I mean? As you're reading it.
And they would not even read. You don't have to read it there, but they do such an incredible job inside of their own production with
Definitely.
just their narration and being tremendous storytellers. And I regularly, and you see this here, and I reply to it, but people are like, oh, if you had to show somebody new one match to get them to fall in love with professional wrestling, I say none. I wouldn't show them a match. I would go over to the guy
Moment.
and show them moments or one of
Right.
the documentaries that explain that get you to buy into that feeling, everything about it, which makes it
For
so
sure.
magical. Just watching a
absolutely.
match is going to do nothing for anyone.
I agree. Especially people that come from like, they watch MMA more than anything. They're just gonna sit there and say, "This is fake shit. What the fuck is this shit?" So
Right. Yeah, but
100% you're
But if you
correct.
can get them to understand the characters, the storylines, to get
Right.
emotionally invested in with it, then it makes the match that much more epic, and that's what's going to hook people on those moments.
That's
Or
and that's how pro wrestling works, Rick. Really.
I know if we can understand that,
Right.
why the hell
But
can't people
AEW
run
can't
in
understand that.
Yeah, I'll let you guys bitch about them tomorrow. But hey,
No,
you
but
know
let me
what?
just say one thing about that. Has AEW have had a moment yet when you think about it?
They haven't.
Other
And
than
that's
maybe
one.
Cody and his brother, where he's like, I wanted a hug from my brother.
No, but you could take down that class thing now.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the big things that's kind of been hindering them. 5 years. This Wednesday, they're going to celebrate passing Nitro for a number of
Wow.
episodes, which it's hard to
Jesus.
believe. I know you guys are going to probably have some great conversation on the wreckage about that. But again, and ask Fed about this. I think this would be a great conversation for you guys to have. Where has AEW, All Elite Wrestling, truly defined themselves and helped set themselves apart from everything else in this great history of professional wrestling? They haven't had it.
Tell me
And
someone.
it's simply because they run through the motions of movesets and dream matches and fantasy booker from when you're a teenager, and that's not getting over.
No, and they don't understand the concept. They don't understand the fundamentals of professional wrestling, Rick. Even though they think they do, but they clearly just don't, man. They don't.
You got it, man. Well, let's talk about, see if we got some fundamentals of professional wrestling. If we got things to get excited about, let's talk about some of just the major talking points from this week's episode of SmackDown. Of course, they were coming from. Yeah, there's a couple in here that we can hit on. And I'm going to keep this one short and sweet for us here. I know we're going to be talking a lot about what's happening here over the course of next week as we get ready for next weekend's WrestleMania. But of course, they're coming from Seattle, Washington, up about the old stomping grounds, the home area of our own MSG. You know what I did notice is this show goes on the air. First things that popped out to me, front and center there behind commentary, was an OVW T-shirt.
Yes, I saw that. I saw that. Yeah, absolutely. That I saw that straight away too, man.
I wonder if this is part of their new initiative with their new ownership group. They want to be more coast to coast and a little more into the European market, but kind of cool. Just something
You think
that
so?
jumped out to me. Of course, as we had mentioned earlier on this episode of SmackTac, the one, the only, Bulletproof Troop got a
Still
little
surreal.
appearance on this week's
Crazy.
episode. So that was very, very cool to see. But yeah, as I said, Jimmy T, let's kind of we'll look at what we'll go in uh, with WrestleMania here. We'll talk about, we know that we were talking about the nights, which night is which match. We were talking earlier about our women's championship. Let me rewind here. Next Friday, SmackDown. There ain't going to be a whole lot to talk about. I know you regularly have been talking about who's going to make pre-show. Has Friday Night
Right.
SmackDown, is that become the new spot for pre-show matches, do you think? Because they're making a big deal about that next week. We're going to
Well,
have the
they're
U.S.
calling it
Women's U.S.
WrestleMania SmackDown.
Championship. Right. We're going to have the Women's U.S. Championship on the line. We're going to have the SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line and the Andre the Giant Battle Royal next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's become a staple now the last couple of years, man. Especially for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. It's becoming SmackDown, WrestleMania SmackDown. But why all these title matches, you know what I mean, on a Friday night instead of having it at Mania, though? And you know what? Maybe they should turn
Why
it
would
into
it be?
the
Why?
official.
Because they're not Mania worthy. I would say the Chelsea Green Act is, but that Women's U.S. Championship isn't. We're going to get the Women's Intercontinental anywhere. The
Yeah,
champion will be
because
on WrestleMania, but not the belt because they're not worthy of those spots.
yeah, well, they're not. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, and like T and Kupina says, a good old friend Josh, he says WrestleMania pre-show is 3 hours long for each night. Oof.
Yes, actually, I did see this. Peacock has it advertised Saturday and Sunday live streaming WrestleMania. Each day is 9 hours.
What?
Well, it's not that bad. You think about it.
9 hours, bro. Not
As,
that bad. Come on.
as Q Potter says, you got 3 hours of pre-show, of hype. You're going to have 3 or so for the actual event, and then you got the presser afterwards. So it's not like it's not like the event itself is going to be that. They're just having and this is key for them. It's huge for them. It is a major draw when they bought this property to have live watchable hours.
And you
It's
know
exactly
what?
what
No, you're right. And look, I'm probably just being an idiot, but the truth is, it's a festival of professional wrestling. You know what I mean? So I kind of hate 9 hours and whatnot because there's all sorts of things going on in the world of WWE during that weekend. But what I don't like, are we going to have access to the Hall of Fame this year? Are we going to be able to see it
I know it is. It's Friday night.
after SmackDown?
It's after they're saying, "Hey, scoot on down." It starts at 10 their time, so or East. I'm not sure. I have to see where everything is laid out. I haven't looked that deep into it. The only thing I
And
do
honestly,
know, we're not going to get it this weekend. The roast, it's not going to be
see,
televised.
that's what I'm pissed off about the most.
I'm sure cameras will be rolling. I think they're using that as a
Man.
safety net. They're using that as a safety net in case they got to heavily edit some stuff.
Dude, I'm looking forward to that damn roast, man. I'm not kidding. I'm actually looking forward to it. I think it'll be
At some
hell of
point,
a funny.
they're going to give it to us. At some point, we'll get it.
They better. They better. If they don't, they're idiots. And I wonder why they're not giving it to us live,
because
man.
they want to edit that. They want control.
Yeah, for sure. You're right.
Beyond what they can handle.
100% correct, which sucks, but still, I mean, it would be funny to see, especially live, uncut, uncensored.
And they got a lot of tickets to move. So they're with a week gate. They are supplementing that with these other attractions that are going on. So if you're giving the milk away for free, that's the extra draw there. This is an exclusive to you on this first run. We're going to get through this thing. I know somewhere they're going to be filming this. We're going to get this later on down the line. But yeah, so we got the big Friday night. So next week, SmackDown, we're going to have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We've got the SmackDown Tag Championships and the Women's United States Championship. So that does answer a big question for us. unless they do roll it over into a Mania. But we have been asking, what are they going to do? We've been asking Jimmy T. We've been asking for weeks what are they going to do with this Blue Brand Tag Division because it's absolute garbage. And now we know. It's getting a Friday night spot.
That's sad, dude. I feel bad for everyone involved in that because I'm sure deep down they're going to be very disappointed. I know I would be.
They haven't. That's fine. But all around, it has sucked. It does not deserve,
you're right.
not earned a WrestleMania spot. Now, which I would say has earned, who's done tremendous work, is Chelsea Green and the Secret Harvest. They should have a spot here. Unfortunately, they will not, but I know this group, they're going to go out and make the most of it on Friday. They're going to be good to go. What we do now.
Right, continue on.
Go ahead.
No, continue, please.
No, because I'm going to switch completely gears here. So if you got
all right, well, I was going to say it's still about the tag division particularly, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit on, from SmackDown. But you remember when we saw Miz and Carmelo, right, talking to the Prophets, and I felt like Miz was kind of sending a message to the Prophets about building up this tag division. Do you think they're really putting that, all that sort of pressure on the Prophets to like build this tag division in many ways?
They should have. We've talked about it. They're dead in the water when they won those
titles. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean, right.
They completely reverted back to the happy-go-lucky solo cup sipping, dripping, whatever, good old brothers are going to be. They lost the fire that they had. That when they were chasing those titles, they immediately dropped that, and the division itself dropped back to what it was, pointless, meaningless. Miz and Carmelo, guys that haven't even tagged together. They've had like one match, two matches.
One, I think.
Just come together. Yeah, one. Have just come together here in the last month. They're going to help change this direction. No, this thing is right where it's at. Next week on Friday, maybe post WrestleMania, get their head out of their ass and come up with something, but I'm not going to hold my breath on it.
I agree. Spot on. I just feel like they're putting a lot of responsibility on them. And I wonder what's really going on behind the scenes. If it's not just creative's fault, but actually even their own fault.
Because there's no other stars in that division. They are the draw. They're the focal. The rest
they're the only ones. It's true, man. Facts. So anyway, sorry, I just wanted to touch on that. So yeah, go for it, man.
So we've got that there. So we're gonna talk. I'm gonna go through night one of a SmackDown match, things that we've seen developing there is popping up. We'll talk about what we saw on this week's SmackDown and talk about the match itself. We've already deep dived into this one. We know night one, we're going to get a singles championship match for the WWE Women's Championship. Tiffany Stratton defending against Charlotte Flair. We touched on this earlier in the show. Train wreck of a match. Terrible development with the characters and all over the map storytelling.
Oh, he's disgusting all the way around. But could it be a show stealer? Possibly. No. If these two women can get their shit together. No?
I don't think so. I see a lot of nerves. I think it'll be a fine match itself, but nothing that we are going to be talking about, popping about afterwards.
I agree with you, but hopefully the women actually prove us wrong, man.
I hope everybody. If we get something they can say, I hope they prove us wrong. We do have more women's action. Jade Cargill and Naomi. I'm
hyped for.
I like this one. I
too.
like this here. I like the promos that they did last night.
Brilliant promo, dude, actually, as a matter of fact.
On SmackDown, they're keeping these two out of the ring right now so we don't expose anything. Obviously, we know how green Jade is, especially in the WWE style. Big question, is Naomi ready to be a ring general to carry this match here? But they haven't exposed that with these ladies. They're not putting them out on live camera. They're giving us some great, pre-taped vignettes. They're very emotional. They're hammering home their points. They've gotten this thing to be very personal. And we've had some contact with them, but it's short and sweet where it leaves us wanting a little bit more. I know Vet is big on that. We're trying to talk people into the doors for the fights instead of giving them away. And I think they've done a good job with that on this.
I think they've done a brilliant job about this because really, I'm not the biggest Naomi fan, for example. I love Jade, always have. But as far as Naomi goes, she's never really intrigued me. But for the first time ever, she's gotten my attention, and I mean properly. You know what I mean? I was impressed with her promo. I like how she's, like, as a heel, she's actually a lot better than her glowing, jumping around, dancing and all this shit. Because we see some sort of character about her. We never saw that really before that. Who was she before that, other than dancing and glowing?
Yeah, absolutely. I do like the fire here. And beyond this match, I'm curious what direction they go with her. I hope that they have a nice path written out for her going beyond this. Again, I hope that they can revisit something with Bianca Belair. I think there's a lot to that story. Jade has been good here. Still a lot of room for growth. In her part of that promo last night, I thought they went a little too heavy on the X-Men Storm references. It seems like every other line, yes, like every little line was something about that. But hey, this is one of those that I am looking forward to see what these two can deliver. I'm hoping of the women's matches that this is the one that surprises people, and we're talking about, you know what, they went out there and earned some respect.
I hope so too. But do you get the impression it could be a short and sweet type of match?
Yeah, it should be. If they don't go out there and let these two expose themselves trying to go over 10 minutes. You don't need
I agree.
That. Don't need it.
100%.
Got a case of the heavy hitters coming at you. LA Knight going to be defending the United States Championship against one of your favorite dogs or wolves, Jacob Fatu. That's going to go down on night one. And, of course, last night on SmackDown, we saw LA Knight teaming up with Randy Orton to take on two other members, Solo and Tama, of the Bloodline 2.0. And that ended the show with Fatu laying out LA Knight. Yeah. This is another one. As we were looking at the mid-card, we a lot of speculation from you and me how this was going to play out. If this was the United States Championship was going to be turn into one of those big cluster matches, a ladder match or a scramble, a gauntlet, one of those kind of crazy stipulations. I'm happy that for the championship, as of right now, it looks like we're still just going to get one-on-one Knight and Fatu.
And I'm cool with that, man. We don't need like a four-way or a ladder match or anything like that. I think this is the right choice. But do you think they're going to go with Jacob here at Mania?
I'm going to say my predictions, but I'm excited for this one. I am curious. Is this the time? This is his first title opportunity in WWE, and he's going to have it on this stage, a big showcase to shine. But the other thing though, but LA Knight, even when they seem to pull back the reins, they cool down a little bit on him, he remains over like Grover, man. People still grab sure.
No, definitely. And they have cooled down on him big time. Like big time. I don't know why.
They regularly do that with him. They'll get him hot. Look, I think because they recognize that they can do that with him because of the star power with him.
You think so?
I think he is. He's just one of those, they know they can heat up a little bit, get them going, use them where they need to be. Don't want to get too big into predictions here, but I think they do go with Fatu, and I think that's another case of. And then the question would be, where they go with LA Knight? They'll probably cool him off again.
And that's what's sad. And yeah, we don't want to give our predictions. We'll save that for next week's Smack Attack as our prediction show. How about that, Rick?
That'll work for we have to come up with something to talk about there. We also have night one. We do know the main event, the triple threat: Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins. We didn't get any hype for this really all last night on SmackDown.
No, it was just a weird parade of title belts.
No, that's the other match.
No, with Cody, I'm talking. Oh shit, you're right. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, sorry.
Which again, hey, we'll go right to that because we're gonna have transition in tonight too. One of the big problems that I had with last night's SmackDown. Again, we're a week away from WrestleMania, and we got very little to no hype about the two biggest matches. Nothing that would really excite us about anything. So we just got a recap from the triple threat, just about, with Paul and now Seth, now you owe me a favor. I think there is intrigue inside of the match itself. I am looking forward to the triple threat, but there was nothing on last night's episode that got me more excited. I'm still sitting at the same place I was.
No, same here. I mean, I guess they're going to do more when it comes to Monday night for Raw, obviously.
It looks like Raw is going to be the spot to hype this one. because as you did mention last night, we did get Cody Rhodes in the parade of championship belts, which to me, hey, this is Cody's out there trying to get this match over on his own. We did get the announcement that Cena will be there next week. Obviously, he's going to be arriving in Vegas, so he will be on SmackDown next week. But we have Cody Rhodes out there kind of going through an era of titles, and he's giving us a little bit of history and what it's meant, and he's getting those big pops. He even got the spinner belt that he gives a little bit of that silent acknowledgement to. Hey, my thought here, man, I had in my notes, this is proving John Cena right, that Cody is a mark. He's out there with his little replica belt collection, trying to show it off, just like every damn mark you see when you go to those. That is the mark. The mark that kills me when I go to these live events is that freaking dork walking around with a replica championship belt.
I know, man. You'd never see me ever carry a damn belt, especially at my age, at a fucking wrestling fucking event. I don't give a shit.
Right. Right.
I just can't do it, bro. I just can't do it.
A grown man, it just blows my mind. You're a grown man, you're going out and dropping hundreds of dollars on a replica title. That's your thing. I got a good friend, Neil Pearson. He used to promote with the Professional Wrestling Alliance. He loves collecting belts. Loves it. I don't get it. But if you want to do that and you have a nice display in your home, maybe you're building a nice little backdrop, for your podcasting or something like that. But to go out in public with that thing.
Like, you're the champ, bro. The champ is here. Yeah, no, I can't do it, dude.
Hey, I always agreed with, man. Like, it should be like a Money in the Bank sort of thing. Like, if you're out on the street rocking a replica belt and someone just comes up and just kicks your ass, then you should be able to leave with that belt. Right?
Yeah, 100%. You know what? And especially if you're carrying, dude, I've had those thoughts sometimes.
That's the thing. That is the thing. Like, if you see these guys at a wrestling show,
I swear,
they
bro,
think they are the coolest dudes, and like everyone is like envious of them. Like they're gonna be
please,
taming some strange. Like they are like legit on top of it, man.
It's like they're wearing diamonds or some shit, dude. Like, look at me. Like, really? When you bring it to a freaking event, that you want attention. Simple as that.
No, yeah, you're getting attention is the biggest dork there in a sea of dorks.
Dude, I don't get it, man. Yeah. We're assholes straight up. I'm sure we've got a few listeners that have belts, but
I'm sorry. And if you were taking those two events, like if you paid $5,000 to go sit at WrestleMania and you know what's going to make me extra cool? I go in there with my replica spinner belt. No.
Look, it spins. You know what I mean? Yeah, no thanks. It's like, thanks, but no thanks. I just can't do it, man. What? Wait, T and Cooper in the chat. Oh, God. Saying, at my local wrestling event, he had a friend that brought 2 title bouts with him at every show. Sorry, Josh, but your friend is a loser. Remember the NWO?
Loser.
Yeah. No, I'm joking, man.
Give us a picture of this friend. We are going to put him on blast next week. Now, I will say this, though. Like, doing promotion for, like, local indie events, when you go out and you got some championship belts with you and you're letting people take some photos with it, it gets your events over big time. People gravitate towards them. If you're doing something, like, productive with them, like promotional material. But if you're a nerd just walking around at a convention or a show
with a belt,
yeah, you're a loser.
Loser. Well, speaking of cold, I don't know, man. You should keep this to yourself. But he says, I won't lie.
Keep it at home, dude.
But that's it, exactly. Keep it at home. He says, I won't lie. I'd love to buy a Cena farewell belt for Lexington, Kentucky, I assume, if they make one when they come in July. He says also.
The street and get over Lexington. So we know those are going to be what we've seen on SmackDown. We know that's going to be night one. Real quick, the other night one matches, we know we're going to get the World Heavyweight Championship match, Gunther and Jey Uso. We're going to get the World Tag Team Champions, the War Raiders versus the New Day. We're also going to get Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, and that's going to round out night one. 7 matches for night one so far. For night two, what we've got that's relevant here for the Blue brand, we saw on last night's episode, this match was announced. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, your WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, they're going to be defending against the newly formed team, first time out together, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria Valkyria, of course, the Women's United States champion. Jimmy, what you think of the gauntlet match, man? It was a huge time filler for me. The only thing I had positive in my notes really was at least they made an effort for these girls to look like tag teams, even though most of them was their first or second time teaming together. They at least had matching gear, you know. Usually when you had these throw-togethers, it's like, what?
No, you're right. And look, I will say this. Monday night, for example, when Raw was coming live from Minnesota, because you get it, Minnesota, Valkyria and Bailey absolutely hit that out the park, dude. Or Valkyria, whatever the friggin' her last name is. They absolutely had probably the best match of the night by far. The thing that sucked, the crowd just weren't into it. But the crowd weren't even into it most of the show. They were just quiet for whatever reason.
Well, in this, you know, the IC Women's Champion Valkyria, she's just not over. There's not a whole lot of interest behind her. Bailey
can go though, Rick. She can go in the ring though.
That's great, but without a character, without a connection, you're not going to have anything. I think that they're hoping that Bailey a little bit will give her that rub, that Bailey love. They come in number one. They run the gauntlet here. Over in our personal chat, you know, I was thinking like, man, I really wanted to see the Secret Hervis get this win. I've loved their work. Would have loved to seen them get an opportunity to have a match at WrestleMania. But, you know, it makes sense. I think we can really see him. It was, if you got Liv and Raquel as the champs, you got to have babies coming in as opponents. You couldn't go with the heel versus heel.
No, for sure. And I expect the title change when it comes to that too, dude, for whatever reason.
I do not. I think they're going to keep they're going to keep rolling here with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. As I put over here a few weeks ago, regularly putting it over, Liv is a star for this division. So much potential that she can carry it for this thing. I just don't think in the near future there's an opportunity for her to move back into the singles title pictures, the main women's title pictures. So they're going to let her ride with this tag division a little bit longer.
Dude, let's be honest, man. I was saying this to someone off the air. I was talking to a friend. If there's anyone you can make an argument for Superstar of the Year, and I truly mean this, you got to make an argument for Liv Morgan, dude. For real.
Yeah, I could easily do that. I was trying to go back and find the episode where we had talked about all the upside for her, how she's coming to her, and how we have watched her come, a girl. She's evolved from a girl to a woman in the last 2 years in this business. And she is on a next level. She is money for this company if they'll invest in her. Do it right with her. I'd love to have that conversation with anyone. I think I can make the debate in a case for Liv Morgan, Superstar of the Year.
And I mean, from last year, continuing on to this.
Talking in a WrestleMania calendar year.
Right. Yeah. It's season literally wise, not literally from 2025, to March or April. Sorry. But really, tell us if we're telling lies. I mean, you could seriously make that argument. That's how good she's really been, man.
Yeah. Again, and great to see her have and I think a lot of people are like, why isn't she in a more high profile? I think that's part of a test. When she was needed, when she was called upon, they gave her the ball. She didn't just keep the offense on the field. She went for the touchdown. She carried them. She did an amazing job. But now you pull back because you got other things going on. You've got, brighter spotlight shining elsewhere. Part of that test is how do you handle yourself? And she is still performing at top-notch level.
She's proving them wrong every time they throw anything at her, dude, and she's that good. And even I was never the biggest fan of hers, man. But she's won me over.
2 years ago, I would have fired her.
Me too.
Spot for her. 100%. Didn't see any value. I have done a 180. She has proved me completely wrong. And as I said, we have watched her go from a girl to a woman who understands storytelling in the ring, understands her character, body language, not having to go out there and kill herself physically on the bump card. She seems to be getting it.
This is interesting, though. Josh says Liv Morgan is a Jersey girl and SummerSlam is in Jersey this year. Could we get the crescendo of her being the champ again right there in Jersey?
I know, but that's a long time away.
That is a long time away.
4 or 5 months away.
For sure.
4 or 5 months away. Also on last night's show, we got more build. We got the match announced coming into the show. We get a little more hype here. It is straight up fight on sight. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, but now Jimmy, we've upped the odds, the antes here. Sin City Street Fight. I guess it does make sense. I know it's a little cheesy. You know, you gotta have the host. Cheesy, but... You gotta have the host. And that's another thing. Wrestling cheesy. But the way that these two have been getting after it, where it has been fight on sight, it does make sense. Let's go do it. Here's the one thing. I've liked the aggression with these two. Drew came out recently. I can't remember who the interview was with, but he did talk about frustration, about being involved with the likes of the Bloodline. He was going to be that Bloodline hunter. That long-running story with Seth Rollins. He's got the history with CM Punk, and he felt slighted that he was left out of that triple threat. He thought he could have fit into that thing, been a part of that main event. Obviously, they pivoted, went a different direction. Now he's with Damian Priest. Talk about a little bit of a letdown, but I still think, you know, he has delivered. They gave him the lemons. They're making lemonade with this.
Oh, for sure. And you know what, man? I would be pissed if I was him because he's worked his butt off too. You know, only for them to like bring him back a little bit. You know, and I'm sure even in his eyes, it's sort of pushing him back, you know, putting the brakes on him for whatever reason, just a little bit. But really, do we need Reigns in this?
No, I would have loved to have Reigns. I would have maybe made this a four-way. I think
you even go there. Absolutely, because it makes sense with all of them.
He fit into that complete story.
He did.
Tied in somehow. Or maybe Drew, you know, maybe his story here could have been, you know, I've been screwed so many times. Maybe a wise man is what I need, you know. So then he could play into the
another favor.
Or, you know, whatever that case. I didn't think about it until he had mentioned it. I would have loved to have seen him been an addition to that triple threat and make it a fatal four-way.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it either, but instead we're getting him and Priest, which is cool.
It's not happening. We're getting him and Priest. I think for Drew, it's shown that he is a true pros pro. Like I said, he has done great in here with what they've given him to try to bring out how personal, you know, this blood feud is, if you want. For Priest, I think this is, hey, man, we've given you a lot, but this is your true step-up moment.
Absolutely, they have. Yeah, and you're right.
I mean, regularly preaches you can put a belt on anyone to make them seem important, but where the truth lies is how hot a program you can get when there isn't a championship to focus on. When it is on you, can you get over? And that's kind of what this is here, is a testing moment for Damian Priest.
Oh, 100%. And I'm looking at the chat, actually, funny enough. You know, people say they wouldn't mind, say, Heyman and McIntyre together. McIntyre doesn't need Heyman, though, really. I mean...
No, I think it could have worked inside if he would have joined that triple threat and you're tying all those stories together. He could have been teasing something like that. I think it
for sure. Could have been. Probably would have kidnapped him.
Could have, should have, but we're not getting it.
I didn't. So, but I will say one more thing. The eye patch, him taking off the eye patch this soon, I didn't like that, to be honest.
Yeah, leave it on there. I think that would have been a nice little touch going in there. So also night 2, we know that Cody Rhodes, John Cena, we talked about that. Jimmy, I guess the hanger point that we'll talk about here for SmackDown, WrestleMania, we've lost one match. We have lost Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton, the Viper. Still looking for his WrestleMania opponent for another WrestleMania moment. As he said last night, I believe, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. This will be 20 WrestleManias for Randy Orton.
Wow, already 20 WrestleMania. He did say that. I mean, shit. I mean, yeah. I mean, see how quick time flies, dude. Even I can't believe that it's been 20 Manias for him, dude. Like already at this point.
Well, and then 2 weeks ago, we get the tease. He hits Aldis with the RKO. Great tie-in to when he hit him, when he introduced him, and he double paid the fine.
Right.
That match, I'm seeing some mixed reaction to the potential of Aldis versus Orton. To me, it's a special attraction. It'd be cool to see Aldis get an opportunity on that stage inside of WWE, knowing his history. I'm seeing some fans not thrilled about it at all. That potential. Solo, looks like that could be a possible
But
landing spot
why though?
for.
Deep down,
Just maybe they need somebody here and give that moment, give young Solo an opportunity. They've given him so much. Again, this is okay. This is another big test. Can you go shine on a stage like WrestleMania with an absolute best, one of the best that's ever done it in Randy Orton? Or next Friday, do we get Solo and Orton added into the United States Championship, making it a fatal four-way?
Oh, I don't know. That's interesting. That I don't mind that idea too, because then you can tie in Solo and Jacob as well. Will they coexist? Will they work together?
You can
And all
have
sorts of stuff.
right. So inside of that, you got Randy giving a rub to all of these individuals. You've got that bloodline underlining story. They could cost each other if you wanted LA Knight
Right.
to, leave there still as champion without really
Like a
hurting a
thief
lot
in
of.
the night,
Right.
literally.
Yeah. So I mean,
Literally.
there's some different directions. I've seen some rumblings out there that maybe Sammy somehow comes back and gets involved to fill in for Kevin. Don't know if it makes a whole lot of sense, but I've just seen it. So just throwing it out there for some conversation.
See, personally, if you notice on SmackDown, did it not look like they were teasing Aldous is somehow going to get involved in this sort of match?
Well, it
in
seems
some
like
ways?
they kind of push it out there and then pull it back, push it out there, pull it back.
Right.
And I think they're doing that with a lot of these things. I don't think they have any idea what they want to do yet.
And you're probably right. But maybe, just maybe, could we also see Aldous bring in someone to go against Orton
Who's
on
that?
behalf of himself, say?
I mean, the way that he got the hell out of there so quick. So
And if you looked at him during the promo, like if you pay attention to Aldous, he looked pissed, dude. He was pacing up and down. He was giving these weird looks to Orton the whole time. I'm intrigued with Aldous, but we're not going to get anything.
There's a lot of stuff there that we could see going on. Personally, I would maybe. Oh man, I would maybe go on a reach here. The NXT show. Theirs is coming up, like their WrestleMania. Whoever maybe emerges as the NXT champ. Who is that? Trick? You got the triple threat. So I would either go with Trick or Femi.
Over Femi.
I think that would be kind of big to see something like that. Would have been cool to have Orton in some way, maybe do a crossover with TNA at this point.
Yeah, Mania is too big of an event for them.
I get that. I'm just trying to think outside the box here because we need something short. We need something that's going to draw. That would be interesting.
They're literally rolling the dice with this match. Like you said just before, I don't think they actually know exactly what direction. They're teasing that they can go all sorts of, like, is it Solo? Is it Aldous? Is it someone else? I think they're still making the decision phase.
Well, even inside of it, you have Randy saying, that double down, that fine, that covers me. And then he like drops a dick liner. He's trying to get it out and he fumbles it a little bit. Like next week, give me my match, or next week I might have to do something to Mickey. Like if I'm Aldous at that point, I'm like, dude, like I'm trying to be professional here. You just mentioned my wife, the mother of my child.
And that's what I'm saying. If you just paid attention to him alone, Aldous, throughout the whole thing, he was doing some interesting things, which for me, I would rather see Aldous against Orton, dude. I mean, that would be massive.
Right, to me, but that just might be the old schoolness, knowing where Aldous has come from.
Right.
Special attraction, undercard at this point, something different. Solo in Orton does nothing for me one-on-one. I would barely be interested in that on a SmackDown, let alone WrestleMania.
It is a SmackDown match, let's be honest. I hate to say it, but it's true.
So we'll see here. But yeah, those are our talking points from this week's SmackDown. Not a whole lot to leave you overly or more excited as we are a week away from WrestleMania.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it, man, but I'm still intrigued with a few things, Let's just see, I guess, what happens come even Monday night. I mean, maybe we're going to see a lot more things tied in with what happens. T and Cooper says in the chat, Aldous versus Orton, could Mickey James interfere? I doubt it.
Yeah, don't need it. Just go out there.
No, and why? Why Mickey? Yeah, I don't know, man. But if you're going to do that, you're going to have Orton as a true like heel again. Like there's no other way.
Right. So there's a lot into that. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to have Orton, Randy's Randy. He can just do whatever the hell he wants, and he's usually okay.
Yeah, and the fans will still be happy either way, even if he's a heel or a babyface.
Right. It's just saying, the casual audience have no idea that Ultima's a wrestler. I mean, that's a big one, but it's not like this is a prime spot on the card or anything.
No, but you know what? For like the people that know, it would be one of the bigger matches of the night. I mean, seriously.
It's going to be kind of like an Easter egg, a little gift to the Smarks, that are deep inside the bubble. I got a feeling that Solo and Orton are going to be added to the United States Championship match. But
I can see that. It's a possibility. We'll see what happens. But till then, Rick, I guess we can call it a day. Tell them what you're up to and what you're doing, man. This was a great conversation, by the way.
Well, coming up, I won't be around next Saturday I will in the morning as we bring you the Smack Tack, but hopefully I'm coming to you from a very special location. So I'll be taking the voice that makes all those Cincinnati ladies moist on the road downtown for a little throwdown. Knockout Kings live boxing. I'll be the ring announcer and hype man extraordinaire. Hopefully I'll be coming live from the venue as we run down WrestleMania next week here on the Smack Tack. Of course, Monday I'll be with Hameen. You can check out my Facebook page for my race report. Check out me there. Or right here, YouTube.com /@Hameen Media Group for my new episodes of The 10 Count with Mr. John Paz from the Two Man Power Trip.
Great show once again, by the way, Rick. I love the quick 30-minute sort of thing. If you want, your quick fix of pro wrestling, that's the show to go and check out. Anything else, Rick, you wanted to touch on?
Nah, man, get us out of here. I got to go hit the hype train for the boxing event.
You're always busy on the weekends, man, but I appreciate you, man. Well, if you want to follow me, you can at DJ Mass Effects on the Twitter. I can't do shit yet. Hopefully, I'll try to get my account.
Damn it.
No, I don't want to get, man, it took me forever to get my freaking followers. But anyway, that's another story. My account is not closed. I'm just locked out of it. Like literally, they won't let me access it. Anyway, that's another story. As everyone knows the story already at this point. But more importantly, like and subscribe right here at HameenMediaGroup. I was going to say .podbean, but it's actually the YouTube channel like you said, Rick. But also at HameenMediaGroup.podbean.com for all our affiliate shows. And of course, channelattitude.com with $5. Not only do you get the realest talk, but the best talk in all of wrestling while Rick is giving the pump a jam. Or is it a jam? I have no idea, but it's something he's pumping. Hopefully it's not Ricochet's thumb, Rick. Careful there, man. You don't want to get lost with your thumb. But you know how funny that looks. Anyway, he's saying that. I am Jimmy T. That is my co-host. R to the B to the V. Or is it Ricochet? I have no idea. And that's Cha-Cha in the background. Uh-oh. Don't ruin us. Don't ruin us. I mean, he likes to do it doggy style, clearly. Cha-Cha styles. Well, anyway, folks, you have been listening and watching the Smack Attack right here on Hameen Media Group's YouTube channel and, of course, channelattitude.com after the fact. And we're out. Thank you to everyone that's joined us. Until next time, peace.
Like the fools of Pamplona, man. People are charging the store to buy these, man. Little children are breaking their piggy banks to spend their last dime on it, man. And little old ladies are turning tricks at the bingo hall just to buy it for their stinking grandchildren, man. What is it? The Tickle Me Mini Doll, man. I call this my when she goes, yo, 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 and ho, ho, ho. Happy Hollywood days, dude. Let me tell you something, brother. This is the biggest thing in the land, dude. The other day, I saw 92,358 and 1/4 people waiting in line to buy it, brother. And what they all... Whoa, wait. Dude, that t-shirt's not... Let me tell you something, Piper. That's Starcade, brother. Baby goes to sleep. Give him his medicine. It's perfectly clear. You're not going to get one of those dolls in any of the stores before Christmas. Those are the second hottest items on the market today. What's the first hottest item, you ask? The BWO t-shirt, of course. Now, what we're willing to do right now is, it's one for $20. But I'm willing to give it to you not two for $40 and not 760. No, not even 760. I'm willing to give it to you. Buy 1 million t-shirts. Get one for free. Wow! Hey, it's the holidays. I'm feeling generous. Buy the shirt! Buy the shirt! Buy the shirt!
This is Channel Attitude. Your voice, your right, your freedom.